Oh yeah, here we go. Existential crisis time. I have had an existential crisis before, but I haven't done a list about having existential crises, so I'm going to give this everything I've got. Did I do it right? They say there are only two things certain in life. Death, and the fact that no matter how many times you tell him not to, Adam will insist on microwaving mackerel in the office. Unfortunately, we here at TripleJump know all too well what happens after the latter, but no one on Earth knows exactly what will occur once we shuffle off this mortal coil. And that's been the subject of a great deal of speculation. Pretty much everyone has their opinions on the matter, be it afterlife, reincarnation, heaven, hell, or eternal darkness, but the question itself goes unanswered. What exactly does happen to us after we die? The days are long gone where only philosophers and theologians debated the subject, with films, television shows, and even video games weighing in to demystify the unknown. For this list then, we're taking a look at the titles that explore what may or may not happen once you take that final breath and pass into the great beyond. Obviously, we don't have any of the actual answers, and we're not here to make judgments, dismiss ideas, or draw conclusions. Like most of you, we're just here to learn a few things and have some fun along the way. After all, isn't that what life is all about? Before you die, I'm Peter from TripleJump, and these are 10 games that explore what happens when we die. Number 10. Dante's Inferno. When Dante Alighieri produced his seminal work, The Divine Comedy, back in the early 1300s, he probably didn't imagine that some 700 years later, it would be loosely adapted into an action-adventure video game. Or maybe he did. He was a smart guy after all. The TLDR version is that Dante journeys through hell, purgatory, and heaven. Dante's Inferno, as the title may suggest, focuses on the HE double hockey sticks bit, with Game Dante guided by the poet Virgil through the 9 circles of hell in order to save his lady love from the clutches of Lucifer himself. The game goes to great lengths to explore the belief held by many, the idea that when we die, we will ultimately be judged for our living actions by some divine being. Be that God, Anubis, or Jeff Goldblum, he's certainly divine, and that those who have lived a sinful life will be punished for eternity. We often think of hell as a one-size-fits-all eternal damnation. Dante's imagining of what happens after we pass, on the other hand, is much more granular, with sinners facing penance tailored to their various crimes. That's certainly an interesting idea, but honestly, the whole thing seems like a lot of unnecessary admin for those involved. Are there bureaucrats in hell? Actually, that's a stupid question. Of course there are. That's where they all go. Number 9. God of War. You can't deny that the ancient Greeks had some epic mythology. What? Our gods? Oh yeah, they're all massively flawed and they live on that very climbable mountain over there. What, have we been up there and checked? Oh no, that seems like an awful lot of cardio, and the terrain would just ruin my fancy sandals. They also had some intriguing ideas about the afterlife, believing that the soul separated from the body at the point of death before heading off to Hades. Generally speaking, the underworld is a pretty grim place. If you are good in life though, you get to enjoy the exclusive benefits of Elysium for as long as the living remember you. It's a less sunny outlook for any of you bad dudes out there, or for the less memorable among us. When our boy Kratos is killed by Ares in 2005's God of War, he experiences all of the delights of Hades firsthand. Following a lovely, relaxing cruise down the River Styx, Kratos gets to spend his admittedly short-lived afterlife partying with all kinds of interesting characters, including axe-wielding minotaurs and screeching harpies. Ho ho, that sounds like one hell of a shindig. Number 8. AFTERPARTY. In most cultures, if you've been enough of a piss mushroom throughout your life, your ticket to hell, or the equivalent, is one way. It turns out though, at least according to 2020 title AFTERPARTY, that if you're a big enough ledge to outdrink the actual devil, you may be able to escape eternal damnation and resume your life on Earth. In Afterparty, Lola and Milo awaken in hell with no recollection of how they got there. They quickly come to find that, luckily for them, the torture and punishment only takes place during office hours. Once all of that hard work is done, the demons and the damned love nothing more than to head down to Funky Town. Because what comes before Part B? Part A! If Lola and Milo are able to prove themselves through a series of quests, they get the opportunity to face off against Beelzebub himself. Far from glorifying binge drinking, however, Afterlife explores themes of alcoholism and addiction, portraying Satan as a troubled individual whose vices have a detrimental effect on hell. Darkly funny with plenty of heart, Afterparty will have you questioning everything you think you know about the underworld, and may even inspire you to become a better person. But hey, if you're still a knob, at least you might be able to drink your way out of it. Number 7. Avenging Spirit. From one kind of spirit, glug glug, to another. Whether it's lovable spooks like Casper or malevolent poltergeists and everything in between, ghosts have featured in the spiritual beliefs of millions of people around the world. Many who believe in the existence of such entities consider them to be the souls of those who refuse to move on, often because they have unfinished business here in the mortal realm. Such is the premise of 1991 arcade title Avenging Spirit. Whilst out on a romantic walk with his girlfriend, the protagonist is shot to death by agents of a mysterious crime syndicate, who then go on to kidnap his beloved. Summoned by her father, who just so happens to be a ghost energy researcher, our now spectral hero must save the girl and bring justice to those responsible for his murder in order to finally rest in peace. He does this by possessing others in order to gain their powers, and then discarding them, which has no ethical ramifications whatsoever, I am sure. If the player successfully defeats the crime syndicate, the damsel in distress survives, and our friendly ghost gets the opportunity to wish her well and say goodbye before taking the leap into the great beyond. Number 6. Hades. We often assume that the creatures or deities that populate our chosen afterlife are happy with their lot in death, but not everyone is interested in going into the family business, and there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, sorry, excuse me just a minute. Hello? Oh, hi Dad, yeah. Yeah, the accountancy course is going great. Just doing my homework. I'll be all qualified as soon as you need me. Alright, great. Bye. Sorry about that. Okay, what was I doing? Oh yeah, talking about video games. It seems that no one who ends up in the ancient Greek underworld is particularly pleased about it, especially Zagreus, protagonist of Hades and son of the eponymous Lord of the Underworld. We get it. With a family as messed up as this, we can see why the young chap would make every effort to get the hell out of there. Desperate to escape in order to find his birth mother after his father refuses to even speak her name, Zagreus goes through hell to get back to the surface to reunite with Persephone. Any more hell puns I can do before the end? Not only does the game explore the afterlife and the gods and goddesses that oversee it, but it also takes a look at how death, in this case the stillbirth of Zagreus, impacts those left behind. Man, who'd have thought a game about an eternity of torment would bring us down? Number 5. A Mortician's Tale. So far, we've looked at titles that explore what happens to our consciousness when we finally kick the bucket, but haven't really considered the physical process of death. That's where A Mortician's Tale comes in. In this short but thought-provoking title, players are encouraged to think of death in a more positive way by taking part in the day-to-day activities involved in running a funeral home. Our mortician, Charlie, is a young, death-positive woman whose goal is to make saying goodbye as easy and as painless as she can for everyone. Players are involved in the whole process. From preparing the body through comforting mourners, you're there to experience it all. We must advise that A Mortician's Tale is not a game for everyone. The subject matter is very intense, and the whole experience will get you thinking about your own mortality. So if you're not interested or comfortable in considering such things, this may not be the title for you. For those who are in the right headspace, however, it will open your eyes to the real process of death and may have you considering the matter in a less negative way. Number 4. Afterlife. If you think about it, there must be an awful lot of administration involved in any sort of heaven and hell setup, because after all's said and done, someone has to make the ultimate decision on one's final resting place. I'm kind of hoping it's some sort of benevolent dictatorship, because who on earth has time for damnation by committee? As a demiurge, players of Afterlife are charged with creating and maintaining a fully functioning afterlife, featuring rewards for the virtuous, punishments for the sinful, and reincarnation opportunities for those who are deserving. Not only must the player ensure there is enough space for all the souls to be successfully rewarded or punished, but they must also ensure that their workforce of angels and demons remains content, whilst balancing the finances of the whole operation. Fail to do all of the above, and you're likely to end up in an all-out war between heaven and hell, which, let's face it, is a bad day at the office by any metric. Number 3. Pom gets Wi-Fi. We've spent a great deal of time talking about what happens to us humans once we've breathed our last, but what about our furry friends? It's really not nice to think about, but at some point in our lives, most of us have lost or will lose a beloved pet. And it's not uncommon to wonder if they have indeed ended up in their own doggy or kitty version of heaven. I like to think they all have, forever destined to chase tennis balls and munch on dreamies. If you choose to believe in the lore set out in the indie RPG Pom Gets Wi-Fi, then your dearly departed animal companions have indeed gone on to a better place, even if it is one without a functioning internet connection. Following a fire that claims the life of the titular Pomeranian and her uptight Shiba Inu housemate, the pair arrive in doggy heaven to find that, to the former's utmost horror, there's no Wi-Fi. What's to be done? Do you settle into the offline afterlife and make peace with never sending a tweet or watching a TikTok ever again? Most definitely not! You go on a quest to find a connection, of course. It may sound like a minor inconvenience to some, but honestly, we sympathise. If TripleJump Towers collapses on us tomorrow and we find there's no online multiplayer in heaven, we'll be pretty livid too. And if any of you say in the comments that heaven isn't the one we need to worry about, I'll be cross. Number 2. Valheim. I like to hope that once my time on this earth is drawn to a close, I at least get a couple of days to myself to relax. Dying almost certainly sucks, and I don't want to be expected to immediately do things once I'm no longer amongst the living. Unfortunately, if the world of Valheim is to be believed, there's not all that much rest to be had. Granted everlasting life by Odin himself, players become Vikings who start out in a vast meadow and slowly learn the skills they need to survive, from hunting animals and crafting simple tools, to defeating humongous trolls and building longships to explore vast biomes. But don't worry if one of the many threats gets the best of you. You're immortal, after all. You'll have the minor inconvenience of going to find your stuff again, but hey, at least you're not dead, right? Well, I mean, you are dead, but, you're not double dead. Just as well, or we'd probably get another legal letter and have to change it to triple dead. Early access at the time of recording, Valheim already has over 5 million players and overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam, and we can't wait to see how the game continues to develop and expand. I just hope they throw in a couple of beer halls for good measure. It's been a long life, and heaven knows I could do with a drink. And number 1, Grim Fandango. If there's one thing that most belief systems have in common, it's that no matter which powers are deciding where you're going, they're always fair and just. Were you a thoroughly decent person? Off to the good place. Bit of a dick? Bad place. I should imagine that the majority of us have never considered the possibility that those who oversee our collective eternity might be just as unscrupulous as some of those that they damn. But that's exactly what 1998's Grim Fandango sets out to explore. We join Manuel Manny Calavera, a travel agent at the Department of Death, as he uncovers a corrupt conspiracy that denies deserving souls their ticket aboard the No. 9 Luxury Express. To add insult to injury, the tickets are being hoarded by the boss of the criminal underworld and sold at exorbitant prices to those who can afford them, rather than given to those who have earned them. A unique take on the idea of journeying to the afterlife with potentially unsettling connotations for those those who do believe, Grim Fandango will certainly have you wondering if those you trust with your immortal soul are truly as pure as we've been led to think. And also how much one of those tickets to Paradise actually costs. I'm just asking for a friend. Don't look at me like that.